incredible episode of POS Uncensored. I'm Nate Manahan. I'm here in Indianapolis, Indiana, on the northwest side. And in the north central side of Indianapolis is the man, the myth, the legend, the POS Chief Pro, the POS Chief POS Pro. I'm coming up with a new title for you, Mr. Matt Proctor. Matt Proctor,
Sure.
how are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Whatever you want to call me, guys. I don't care.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I know some of these people that are either watching live or will be watching this, and I don't know that you should ever say whatever they want to call you, but that's
They've
a little
called
risky.
me worse, I'm sure. Especially my paper tech family. Yes.
Oh, so we're going to be talking POS that I don't know a whole lot about. I've seen a couple demos. I've met Ming, I think, twice at a couple shows. But Kwick POS, and let me bring up. In fact, I'll use their website first. The first visual here. We're going to be working our way through a PDF that we'll be making available on mypapertech.com. But this is Kwick POS. So let's start with the most basic of question. What's the elevator speech of what Kwick POS is and who it serves, Matt?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the system was built for food and beverage, but now they're dipping a little bit into that hybrid space of retail as well. They do that. They do that extremely well. But this is a true hybrid POS. You guys have heard me talk about that before. That means it is software. It is Linux based, not Windows. But then it has full cloud access, which is great. They can pull up the app on their phone, add buttons, change things, go to any browser, sitting on the beach and be able to adjust their items. And that has huge value to it. And this system has certain things that we just didn't have. We never had through my office, which is why I went through this partnership with them and spent many, many, many months getting this all ironed out to bring them on board so we can be a direct reseller. So they do Kiosk extremely well. And we have not had a good kiosk option. They do order pay at the table well. They already are working at A920s where we're still trying to get there with some of our other systems. The majority of our sales, especially the last 3 or 4 months, have actually been through PaperTech. Okay, a lot of PaperTech agents already know about this, but we haven't really rolled it out. We haven't really done too many launches as far as trainings yet. We did one last year, just one. It's mainly been my office. Verbally, selling this and understanding that this is the right solution for some of our merchants. The fact that they have texting capabilities, they've got marketing capabilities, kind of separates them apart from some of our other systems. So really great software, and we'll dive a little deeper into it. But I love that it's Linux based. It's more security for you guys. That's better hardware. We're talking 15-inch screens. They even have a 19-inch screen option. They can do customer display. They can do customer display you can sign on. You guys have heard me say it before. Some of our systems does have a customer display, but you can't sign on it. They need to sign. Boom, quick. Okay. And enterprising is a big deal. A lot of franchises. I had a franchise that I switched over on to Kwick because it was a QSR, quick service, hot dogs. And they wanted a sign right there on the screen. I'm like, perfect. I got another solution that'd be great for you. And they love it. And they switched them all over to Kwick, and they can manage all their properties. So lots of good things. That's kind of my little, that's a long elevator,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, I appreciate that we took that tour up through the Willis Tower and got to the top and all the way back down.
All the way up and back down. Halfway through it, I was like, why am I still talking? Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So I'm going to bring up that we're going to kind of work ourselves through this products guide. This is available on mypapertech.com. I'm not going to go through that, who we are, but let's start with some of these quick highlights. I have a couple questions for you there on there, Matt. What describe what you said? It's a Linux-based system. I don't think most of our partners, it's a different operating system than our Windows-based systems or iOS-based systems. But this one, number 2, intrigues me. Operates via web browsers and runs on all devices. What makes that a specific highlight?
That is a thing that we really featured a lot this last year. And just so you guys know, we've only been selling Kwick, I'd say, for 6 to 8 months right now. Okay, so we always want to vet these systems out, make sure everything's great. Ming and Tom, the owners, are a phenomenal family. I've spent lots of personal time with them. But this was a big selling feature for me. Yes, it's Linux based, absolutely. They've got their nice big hardware, but guess what? The software can run on iOS. which is great. We've already signed up multiple merchants with Kwick where they already had iPads. Maybe they had Lavu or Talic or whatever it was, and based on if some of the other hardware will integrate, absolutely we could put Kwick software on the iOS platform as well. We even have iPad bundles that we put together for those merchants who do like iPads and they do want something a little smaller, and they can put that app on that software onto those devices as well. And so that's everything is very hybrid. Tom, the owner, is a genius, and he chose the Linux platform because it's very, very user friendly and easy for him to effectively make changes, especially if they want to customize certain things. Okay, customize reporting, all those type of things Tom and Ming and their team can do, which is why we're selling so much now.
Yeah.
It's very versatile.
Well, let's talk. The versatile part of that is this unique structure of their Kwick server, and I don't know that I knew that I was trying to pronounce that boundaryless. I was trying to work ahead. Boundaryless. But the idea that a little bit about this Kwick server, maybe you can help us, and then we'll walk through this product line on the right side if that sounds good. But what is the Kwick server?
Yeah. I mean, essentially, they use that as their file server, as their brain, their backup to be able to connect everything. So we send that out with with all the stations, to make sure everything is hardwired and working perfectly. If we need access points for handhelds, obviously we take care of those as well. But really, it's just seamless connection. They've done such a great job on the networking side. As all of you partners know out there that have sold other POSs, sometimes the network is a nightmare, or the stations stop connecting and don't work. We have never, knock on wood, had any connection issues with Kwick. I take it back, we did once. And Ming, the owner, jumped in immediately and worked hand in hand with the agent and the owner to make sure they got everything working and up and running seamlessly. Haven't had any issues since. So that's really what this slick is about, or slide, is about, how it connects everything. And they can remotely log in. It is done remotely. For all you agents out there asking if they're going to fly someone in, these guys are based in Houston, and they've got a couple offices, but it is done remotely. They send all the hardware pre-programmed. We send them a menu, and then they go through that with go live and all that. Yeah.
Yep. Well, and that gets John Carter, who had already asked that question. Does Kwick offer on-site installation? Obviously, there are any of our POS systems. If the money, it costs money to do on-site, so you're going to pay for that. That's always an availability, but you're not going to get the prices that most of you are wanting and get that system for that price point. Next,
believe it or not, Nate, there's actually one of our systems that no matter what, they'll never do an on-site, which I thought surprised me, because you're right. Normally, if the money's there, and I have brought this up to Ming, and Ming and Tom, they would be willing to do it, depending on where it is in the country. If they have someone available, we'd have to discuss pricing. But it's usually between $2,500 and $3,500 for a 2-day on-site.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's a lot more expensive when you take travel and all the time that it takes versus
hotel,
we can do. Yep. So back to the slide here. The Kwick POS they break it down: digital ordering, marketing, management. What are some of the things you want to highlight, and some of the things that Kwick does and does well?
We have seen really a large increase in this in the last 2.5 years since COVID. The texting and the marketing. Either they have something in place through a third party, or they have nothing in place, and they're trying to keep the customers coming and grow their business, to not have to have a third party and be able to do text marketing and email blast and text blast right through the point of sale software is amazing. And they can manage that right through that same back office through their POS system. So not only are they going in and adding buttons and changing things, they're sending out a monthly, email blast text, email or blast text to help grow their business. And obviously, they got to pay for it. These are additional features that are available, but more and more, we're getting merchants that want that. Okay, they want the QR codes, they want the online ordering, they want the third-party integrations. Guess what, guys? They don't go through a third party. Okay, most of our systems, they have to use Chowly, It's a Checkmate, DirectX, whatever. But no, Ming and Tom did it themselves. They spent many, many hours working through those APIs and integrations. So as of right now, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, and I want to say they're working on Postmates, direct integrations just like Toast and some other big companies did.
Well, and it makes a difference. And in the marketing world, we always talk, you want to have a software of record, and where you are the owner of your data, not a third party that's owning your data. And what happens so many times is these companies say, hey, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to throw MailChimp under the bus. And I'm going to go over to MailChimp and get all my emails, but it's then not tied to the thing that actually runs your business as a restaurant. And so when you can actually have one place where you're managing your CRM and your inventory and your marketing and your text messages and everything else, so you can have one place, it just makes more sense. And that's so you can have one software record instead of a whole MarTech stack that so many of us have outside of the restaurant world. You don't want to mess with that as a restaurant owner. Have it one place, and it makes so much more sense.
Well, and they have survey capabilities too, which is awesome. You want that feedback. They can do it through QR codes. They can do it through a text where they're trying to help that merchant grow. And if there was a problem, they want to hear about it. Or if you had great feedback, it's just more data points that they're trying to capture. We don't have that with the other systems.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring up a couple more slides here. Then you can just tell me if you want to highlight anything. Some of these slides, what I've noticed is their proportions are they're slightly above 16:9 or something. I don't know. I'm cutting off the top. I'm not sure why that is when I go full screen over here. But I mean, one of the benefits they have, I can't even tell what the top of that says.
Well, a lot of this is all about helping their P&L, and this is obviously geared very much towards a business owner and discussing what the trends are, sales strategies, how they could increase their sales by doing their own online ordering instead of using the third parties. The ability to do KDS screens as well as kitchen printer, they're highlighting. I noticed that, Nate, we were looking at some of these slides. Some of these are very high level slides to talk about how they're actually saving time and money.
Well, and it gives me a moment to say we're going to be updating some new sales materials that we're putting together that are based on what they've done, but simplified some pieces and putting them in. They'll be probably in the next 10 days for sure, hopefully a little faster. We'll have that in the My Paper Tech section under Kwick. Kwick, currently this slide deck is in there, but this is, I don't know, this is something you want to present to a restaurant unless, to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the time to sit down with you.
So, but let me flip over here and just, because this is 29 pages and I'm kind of giving us a little bit of overviews. Let me, whoops, come on. See, now I made it small. See, I screwed it up by trying to get it going. Let's see if I can get the.
It won't let you move.
It won't let me move now.
But no, I'm glad you said that, Nate. Once we get some single slicks, that'll definitely help you guys out in the field. This is a total overview of everything. So this is also good to have.
The highlight again on the kiosk. This is the really the only system we have that is competitive and having this kiosk. This is becoming more and more. And I think it was at the beginning of COVID, Matt. A lot of people were like, "Man, we want to do this kiosk ordering." Then they saw the price point. Now I think as labor becomes more and more of an issue, especially these QSRs are coming back and saying, "Well, I can't even get an employee to take an order. I would pay them $50,000, not or whatever a year.
Right.
I can invest that money and put it into actually getting some of these kiosks. Are we seeing more people asking about it? And this is our system to go for.
Yeah, we've installed a few of them, and I like that they have two options. You don't have to have the very expensive, really big, kiosks that run $3,000-$4,000. They actually can do it on countertop as well. And so we had some merchants that love that because they had extra countertop space over here. So they'd rather pay less money, for the hardware, same functionality, still boom, printing right to the kitchen. So we do have two options for the kiosk ordering. Obviously, they're paying right there. And then we had some people that just rather have a QR code. And Kwick has full QR code management in multiple ways. And so it's not just place an order, I can take a payment. They could do that just like a kiosk, or they can do the survey, or they can do it where it's ongoing, where it's almost like running a tab. They don't have to pay right away. So, but yeah, alert management, we don't have that very often with restaurants. So that's another good thing. Low on inventory, owners can get alerts.
But a lot of this talking about being able to manage things from a distance. They have their own app in the background. What about some of the basic reporting and how Kwick fits into the world? Last week we talked about some of the extensive reporting that Mint has. How does Kwick fit into some of this reporting?
Kwick's right there with Mint, and they have to be. They really have to be. When we talk about a very good enterprise solution that is good for franchises, they have to nail down the reporting, and that's exactly what Tom and his team at Kwick have done. If they need to customize something, absolutely they can. Just like we were talking about with Mint last week. And they keep building on it. That's what I love. They're constantly adding new developments. And it's not like this is a brand new company, but as they have the need and new customers are constantly coming on board and asking for certain things, Tom just keeps creating it. I mean, heck, they're working on an entire salon rollout now. And I said, that's great. Please let me know once you have that ready. They're working on all the scheduling capabilities, functionality. They already do pizza extremely well. But yeah, they're really working. You can see on the right side there, they added that in, salon, nail, because these guys are best system for the Asian market. Not only can they do the languages, they have the support. And so I'm talking Korean, Vietnamese. I think they're finalizing Thai right now. But that's huge for the salon nail space to be able to have that language. Right now, we have a salon software. It's English only, period. And so we haven't been able to place it certain places where that's a need, is that support in a different language. So I'm excited for that. We're hoping for a 2023 rollout. I'm at most shows with Ming, and she's keeping me up to date. So that hopefully will happen in the future.
Yeah. And here we see some of their hardware, some of the dual screens that you mentioned earlier where they can actually sign on the screen. Now, as we put the packages together, talk about how the credit card processing works and where are they with pay at the table?
Yep. So semi-integrated with the payment device, PAX devices that are sitting right there, plugged right into the station. Excuse me.
I always love how every marketing picture always takes out all the wires. There is a wire there. It's not a wireless S300.
Right. Yes, there's definitely a wire. And we piece these bundles together like what you're looking at here. We've got regular bundles. We've got bundles with the customer display. We actually have two different customer displays with them. One of them is not interactive, so obviously it's less expensive. I don't think we've ever sold one of those. Most people want the touch screen and sign-on screen capability. And then we're already using A920 Pros for handhelds. We're ordering those and get those directly from Kwick, so they're programming them perfectly. Nothing to do with like pay anywhere. We can't use those if they got name from NAB. So we order those directly through Kwick for order pay at the table. Or they can use iPads. I mean, they can walk around, take an order with an iPad. They're just not doing a payment with the iPad. I think there's a picture in here at that.
That's what I was trying to get to. And I'm going to bring us up on screen while I play with over here. As you see me play, it's not letting. So I messed the whole thing up when I was trying to zoom in. It's what happens when I'm trying to make a PDF work as a presentation display. But here, I can bring it back up here, and you can see a couple more of the tablets set up, a kiosk set up. And if it'll flip over for me, there's the handheld A920.
With the iPad set up.
Yep.
Just so everyone knows. And then, you can see that KDS 19-inch screen. You can see all the orders can hold on there where they're bumping and passing those along. And then it can be mounted, which a lot of people like. You need to have the space in the kitchen.
Yep.
So, and then, A920 Pro, they've got plenty of them.
That's music to your ears. So you have something that does that. And this is just the basic, this is, some of their loyal clients and that you can actually go right onto their web. And I actually did this earlier today because I was like, can you really do this? And you can go to Kwick POS, click the sign in button, put in this username and password and play around with a demo account that they have right on their website. I was like, wow, never seen this. And because of how it's set up in the Linux market and it works through a browser or whatever hardware it's working on, that is something unique that it can do. I mean, I don't know of any other system that can do it that way.
No. And what's great is the knowledge these guys have. Yes, they're software engineers, they're programmers, but most people don't realize that they own their own restaurant in California for like 15 years. So they're at that user level, and they developed all of this from scratch because they saw a need for it. And this started almost 20 years ago, and it's been tweaked and adjusted. They finally rolled it out. I want to say 2007. I don't know. It's on one of those first slides, but but now, I mean, I think 42 states. Last time Ming and I were talking, we're trying to get them in all 50 states. They're really growing. They've done a lot of franchises now and some larger merchants. We've done franchises with them ourselves, so we're really looking forward to the future as they continue to add features and grow, and we can grow right there with them.
Well, I think it's awesome to have a program like this, and one of the things I think that sets them apart in our systems is there are very few POS system specifically in restaurant where the person is both a technologist and a restaurateur. And Kwick POS with Tom and Ming they've been on both sides, and it was created to meet a need that they felt, not just heard about. And not to throw our competitors under the bus. Okay, throw them under the bus. Toast was created because a group of MIT people were looking for a technology problem to solve. They weren't restaurateurs. They went and tried to figure out what the problems were, but they were technologists. And this is the perfect mix. These people came together and they were actually know how restaurants work. And that's why restaurants that run, they understand the back end and the front end, and they have both, that perfect mix. And we don't see that very often in the industry.
No, we don't see many of our owners that are as hands-on as Ming and Tom are. I mean, all the time. Ming is day-to-day operations right there in office with her entire team. She's on a lot of the demos to make sure everything goes smoothly, answer questions. And then Tom, has a rock star team of programmers there and gets involved immediately if he ever needs to. And I think that's very rare in this industry, especially as companies continue to grow. But they really cherish our relationship, with the POS Pros office, and step in if worst case scenario they have to. And it's been a great relationship.
And I'm going to bring their website up again. I just think it's a really good picture of all the quick view of what the things they can do, the online ordering, the table side ordering, the kiosk ordering. It's really a one-stop shop that most of our systems at this point don't have all these features and all these capabilities. And it's a great another tool to be able to sell to restaurants.
Well, and just keep the spelling in mind. A lot of people forget it's Kwick. And if you spell it any other way, you're going to find all kinds of weird websites out there. So make sure you get the spelling down right.
Yeah, just always think of the K, the logo, and we'll do it. So if there are any questions, just a few people joining us live today. Thank you guys for joining us live and being here. We're here around 1:30 every Thursday. We'll let you know ahead of time if for some reason we're taking a Thursday off. We're going through a lot of different POS systems. Eventually, we're going to be talking about how to sell POS and different things. And we have the POS guru, Mr. Matt Proctor. But if you're watching this afterwards, you can always subscribe, and you can go to any of your favorite podcast places, except for Google Podcasts, which still won't approve my new podcast for POS Uncensored. But Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you can go search POS Uncensored and subscribe, and you get the audio version. If you're listening to this, I encourage you, go and look at all the stuff. Go to mypapertech.com, download some of the slicks, but you can still get some of the knowledge and most of the knowledge, because we have such great voices, and Matt does such a great job describing what he's talking about. So
you're gonna say I lost my voice, Monday at a conference with all my Paper Tech boys. So I'm just now kind of getting it back to normal. It sounded pretty bad there for a couple of days.
Well, we're just glad you're able to do this. And I am excited. Here's what I would challenge. I would love to see us coming up. We're about to announce our March Madness, and I would love to see a few more Kwick POS go out the door. And it gives you just a stickiness, especially the one that go to those restaurants. And still, we've been saying this for years. And I just was in a local one here, and I was talking to them. They have these little pieces of tablets, and they're doing all their online Uber Eats and everything else, all and having to rekey. And it's just a terrible system. And we can get them in with edge pricing into a very reasonably priced. Remember, this is still the fact that we'll probably highlight this. What happens if someone comes and says, hey, I'm setting them up at edge at 3.5% or more? What happens for this to be able to do Kwick POS, huh, Matt?
Yeah, well, we have our promotion that we offer for Kwick as well because of this partnership, and we're a direct reseller and control the paperwork and the upfront payment. They get a discount. Your merchants, every $20,000 they do in credit card volume, $12.99 credit towards the hardware. Okay, up to 4. They got 4 credits that they can use. That's $5,200. All right, if they're doing 80, 100 grand, that helps offset so much of this. We have a lot of our Kwick merchants, and actually, I was just pulling it up while we're talking here, Nate. Some of our Paper Tech Kwick deals just this month in February, and there's one here from Donna. Their upfront payment was $175 because they're doing Edge.
If you can't sell $175. Yeah.
Right. It's that good. And Clifton's got a couple of them. He has a dual location that just loves Kwick. And, one location, it's a couple $100 up front. The other one's about $1,000 because I'm sure they must have needed more hardware or something for that one. But it's not that bad. I'm not going to say it's cheap. I'm not going to say it's free or whatever. There's always cost involved and shipping involved. but it can still be extremely reasonable if you get them on edge pricing. And then we want to help.
Yeah. Well, and I remember meeting Ming for the first time last year. I think it was Northeast Acquirers Association show. And we were sitting there in Philadelphia, and Matt, we hung out that night when we were there together. And I was like, okay, how is this going to work out? That was just the beginning of the relationship. What's intriguing to me is we've done quite a few quick placements, and this is of my experience, and I hear a lot of the horror stories. Something goes terribly wrong, then it pops into my ears, or somebody comes and complains. I have heard no horror stories, and we're almost a year out from that first relationship and that starting. You started before, but for me, my first interaction with Kwick and seeing a demo and that stuff, and I'm just very happy with how they're putting things together, and it's just a really good program to work with. And there isn't really hardly anything that a restaurant does that we don't have some solution to when we bring Kwick, mint, and hot sauce the last 3 weeks that we've talked about. Those are pretty solid systems that can serve so many different ways in restaurants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And really, we solidified, our partnership at the SEAA down in Atlanta. And I had a phenomenal dinner with Ming and Tom and their son. Really got to know their family, and sometimes that's what you need. I need to know these people, and they need to know me, and really have that comfort level moving forward with the relationship. And it's just been great. Like I said, there was one issue I'm remembering off the top of my head. It was something with networking or some issue, and Ming herself jumped in and was on the phone with the agent, was on the phone with the owner helping. So that was great.
That's what we love to see. Well, we will be back next week with another great episode of POS Uncensored. Thank you for watching, for listening, however you're doing it. And if you want to reach out, you can always reach out to Matt and his team directly if you want to by emailing POS sales at paymentshub.com, or you can email partners at PaperTech anytime you need to help with partners. If you're just watching this and you're not a partner of PaperTech, and I forget a lot of times, a lot of people are watching this and you're saying, hey man, I really like to jump in, just shoot an email to myself at nmanahan@papertech.com, and I will make sure you get set up with one of our recruiters to find out what the great things a lot of our partners are doing. We'd love to partner with you and sell things like Kwick POS to restaurants across the U.S. Matt, thank you so much. Thanks for, I know you had a busy first part of this week, and you still jumped in and allowed your voice to settle, and you sounded like a king out there. I'm really thankful for you. Thank you very much, Matt.
I always appreciate you having me, man.
All right, we'll be back with POS Uncensored. Again, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time right here on POS Uncensored.